don't ever smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some ditties. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to rhyme. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome guys, Miss Liz in the house, and that's right. I survived the whole week, 6 shows in 1 week. Can you imagine that? Usually I do 4. I slipped in an extra 2 bonus shows this week. And I have an incredible guest in the house. I have Gerry Linarducci. I think I've said it right. If not, he's going to let me know. But we're running a few seconds late because he was showing me some cool stuff. And we're going to talk about that on Tea Time today. So today's Tea Time that we're going to share about teach, energy, and attitude. That's the tea we're serving in Miss Liz's house today. We do not serve a beverage in this house, but we do bring some beverage to the table. That's the little twist that's coming in a little bit. So before we get started, everybody, you know how I roll. Go over to YouTube, go over to Spotify, all of those good places, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. There's so many of them. I can't even remember them right now. Get over there, like, subscribe, and follow. And let's get these tea times out because they all do make a difference. One tea time, I guarantee, will change someone's life. And today, we're going to change your life with Gerry. So let's get started with a disclaimer and an intro, and let's get Gerry in here and let's spill his tea. So the disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz's Tea Time is a global platform dedicated to sharing real-life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I'm Miss Liz is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content brought forward during any Tea Time show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Tea Time platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guests, viewers, and participants are responsible for using their own good judgment when considering any action or decisions that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners' and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Tea Time with Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of the discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email, bookingmissliz@gmail.com, or visit my link tree, Miss Liz's Tea Time. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Miss Liz, welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect your wishes and decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Tea Time with Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness 1 cup at a time. Now let me give you a little bit on Gerry. Well, I want to welcome everyone back to another Tea Time, where we pour truth, transformation, and real conversations that make a difference. Today, I'm honored to welcome a powerful guest who brings energy, mindset, and heart into every space he enters. Gerry Linarducci, founder of EYECAN Coaching. Gerry's journey takes him from Uruguay to Indianapolis. I think I'm saying them right. If not, I'll get him to correct that. And his message is universal. With the right TEA, treat, energy, and attitude, you can build the discipline, gratitude, and clarity needed to change your entire life. He helps leaders, dreamers, and everyday people recognize that their mindset is their foundation and that their attitude is their power. So grab your cup, open your hearts, and let's dive into a dynamic and uplifting tea time with Gerry, a man who proves that when you believe you can, you truly will. Let me get Gerry in here and let's spill some tea. Welcome, Gerry.
Hello, how are you? I'm giving you the energy right now.
Right? I was just like, my tongue twisters. I'm telling you, when I get these shows started, I'm just like, like.
Yeah. So it is the country of Uruguay. I was born in Uruguay, Montevideo, Uruguay, and presently I am living in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the United States.
There we go. I knew you would. I knew my guest would save me.
Oh, hey, I'll throw you the life raft. Don't worry about it, or the lifesaver.
You know, Miss Liz needs some help sometimes too, right?
We all do. We all do.
So, Gerry, let's start your tea time off with who was Gerry as a little guy and who's Gerry now?
Wow. Gerry as a little guy. Gerry as a little guy immigrated. My parents came here to the United States in 1966. My parents immigrated from Montevideo, Uruguay. My father was Italian. My mother was Uruguayan. And we came to the United States like everyone else for a better life and the life of opportunity. And I went to private Catholic school through preschool all the way through senior year in high school, right? 12, 13 years. And I learned a lot growing up in a city. And then I started working out of high school. I went to college and then I got a job with the airlines. Worked there for about 11 years, met my wife, and 40 years later, I'm in Indianapolis with 2 grown children and 3 grandchildren and 2 dogs now. So it's all good.
You got the whole picture. You got the wife, you got the kids, the grandkids, and the dog.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife said, "Bring Maximus down. He'll make the show even go more viral." And I was like, "No, thank you."
Well, the reason that I always ask that question about who you were as a little guy is because it often brings us into our adulthood. You know, we bring a voice to what we were as a child where we didn't have that voice or we didn't have that opportunity, right? We wanted to be an athlete when we were a kid, and then we grow up and we're just like, put us on a hockey team or
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we all as young children, adolescents, even as a college graduate in your 20s, 30s, right? We all aspire to be something, but then we also have to deal with the cards that we are dealt, right?
Absolutely.
So whatever we aspire to want to be, some of us really want it, but we don't know how to get there. And others know how to get there, but they aren't financially capable of getting there. So for me, it's been a very, very long journey. I would say in the last 35 years, I find myself today at the age of 61. So I find my mindset totally, totally different than when I was 25, 27 years old. Right. I was reckless. I was having fun. Nothing could hurt you. But now, you're on how many different types of medication. I just told my wife my back is killing me going up the steps. And it's kind of funny, to be honest with you, on how life changes.
I get that back pain. I'm getting my back aligned for the last 3 weeks. And I'm just like, ooh, yeah. I felt like a rare steak today. Like, acupuncture and chiropractor, I was just like, oh yeah, that's a little much there.
Yep.
So I want to get into your tea, Gerry, and then I want to get into that little surprise, and then we're going to get into EYECAN, and we're going to have some fun facts and some lightning bolts and all that good stuff. We're going to spill some really good strong tea today. So your tea that you gave me was treat, energy, and attitude. Why did you give me those 3 words?
Treat people the way you would want to be treated. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter what culture, what country, where we are. If we treat others the way we want to be treated, everyone would be so much happier. You know, years ago, I would say about 20 years ago, when here in the United States, there was a phenomenon that people were wearing these bracelets around their hand, and the bracelet had WWJD on it. What would Jesus do? Right? And then it faded away. But what would Jesus do? You know, why don't we treat people the way we would want to be treated? And that is part of my new mission with EYECAN Coaching. Treating others, there's respect to that. So we all understand what the word respect is, right? But do we really act the respectable part? And it could be something as simple as my wife yells at me when I blow the horn with the car in front of me doesn't go fast enough when the light turns green, right?
Yes, road rage.
Yeah. I didn't say that. You did, okay? I'll never
I
admit
claimed it fifth, right?
Yep. I'll take that to my grave. But in all seriousness, it is about treating others, you know. And I recently lost my dad. Actually, 2 months ago. Tomorrow, on the 16th, will be 2 months that I lost my dad. And in the past 7 months prior to his passing, I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with him because he lives in Florida, and that's a 17-hour drive to go see him. So I spent a lot of time with him, 2 weeks at a time, basically. And during that time, we had a lot of conversations that we never had as a father and a son. And something that he shared with me was, please don't treat your grandkids better than how I treated your children. Right? And I'm getting emotional because what happens is when someone passes away that is very dear to you, it changes the individual.
It does.
To me, it changed me. And I never understood this quote, but back in 2012, I had the pleasure of interviewing Miss Teen Tampa. And I asked her what was the most moving quote book she has ever read or heard. And she said, your life will change in an instant. So the day my dad passed away, I was sitting by his bedside and I said, Dad, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to run in the kitchen and go throw something in the microwave and I'll be right back. And the aide came and she goes, Mr. Lorenzo, Amigo's not breathing anymore. And it was 12:51. My life changed in an instant. So today, I have always lived my life as an adventurist, because you only get one shot at it. And prior to 30 years, prior to coaching full time, I had conversations with people. And these conversations, I wish I would have done that when I was capable. I wish I could have done X, Y, Z. And what I took that as wisdom that they were willing to share with me. And all this wisdom taught me that tomorrow may never exist. So if I have the capability and I'm not doing anything unethical and I am living my life to the fullest, it's because the guy upstairs is blessing me enough to go ahead and do it. So that's my T. Treat people the way you would want to be treated.
You know, and it's so simple, right? But we get it so wrong so often.
It's people make things harder than they really are. And there's an acronym that I use a lot in my when I was selling in my presentation called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
I love that one. Just keep it simple.
Just keep it simple, stupid. You know, I should have wore my Gene Simmons mask when I said that. Then we
With
would
the
have
makeup on and all of that.
Yeah.
Well, Gerry, we got into the first word of your tea, but I want to get into a special cup. You mentioned your father, and that's why we ran a couple seconds late, guys.
Yeah, right.
Miss Liz got a little carried away, and I was like, oh, I got to go live. But Gerry, let's share that with the audience, what you shared with me, because I found it interesting, and I'm sure all of my listeners will too.
Well, they're being from Uruguayan, right? And my parents carried the tradition when they came here. So in Uruguay, Argentina, and the southern part of Brazil, there is a drink called mate. And you put the tea leaves inside a gourd, just like this. And this is the actual gourd that I drank mate with my mother and father about a week prior to my dad passing. And you put the tea leaves, the tea leaves are shredded, right? And you put them in here, and then you pour the hot water in. And then you drink it out of a straw, which is called a bombilla. In Spanish, it's called bombilla. And it has little filters on the top, so you're not drinking the tea leaves. See that?
Well, look at that.
And this is actually a silver gold plated. So, you know, here in the United States, you can find them on Amazon for $9. But I went to Uruguay about 10 years ago now, and I bought back a handful of these for my mom to give away as gifts. And I kept this one. But yeah, this is silver gold plated. And it is a friend drink. It's like getting together and drinking tea, right? Well, you drink yours and then you pass it to your friend or to your spouse, and you just sit and talk. You know, but when I went to Uruguay with my wife, I said, "Oh, Jen, look at that gentleman over there." It was by the ocean, right? And he was just sitting on the park bench. They had park benches in the sand, and so we sat down and we started talking to him. And within 10 minutes, he offered mate to my wife. And then she's like, "Oh, I don't like that," and which she does not. But for a half hour, we sat there with the gentleman and we learned about his life in Montevideo as a cattle farmer and how he grew up and where he lives and his retirement. We'll never see the gentleman again, right? But he made a difference in our life and we made a difference in his life. And I believe that because he was generous enough to say, "Hey, would you like to split a mate with me?"
And I want to have a mate now.
Well, I will, when this is all over, I will send you a bag of yerba. It's called yerba, Y-E-R-B-A. And you know, the tea leaves are flavored if you want the flavored stuff. Because I'm a diabetic, I don't put any sweetener in mine. I put Splenda or something in there just to cut the bitterness off a little bit. But my dad, I would put something in there, he would get irate. He liked his straight up, just like black coffee espresso, no sugar in it, just let me drink it. So, yeah, that's it.
And that's something that when I did my homework on you, Gerry, that's part of your coaching, is the connection.
That is so important. So important. Having a coach that you connect with provides the ability, not only connect, but trust. That opens the door, because when we go to the doctor, we have to give ourselves physically to that individual. And if we do not give ourselves physically, meaning when they probe where we don't like to be probed, right? They can never do the best for you. So for me, when I take on a coaching client, that is why I offer 2 free 30-minute conversations, because I want there to be a connection. Otherwise, I'm thrown into the bucket like all the other coaches online today that are trying to do business with everyone who has an issue. I want to do business with someone who is committed, someone who really understands that they need help, and build a connection. Not that we're going to solve the world's problems in one deal, right?
Well, that's why you give two free.
Yeah, that's right. But no, but seriously,
The first one doesn't work, the second one will.
Yeah, we have to connection. If that's how dating is,
Yeah.
there has to be a connection. And if there's none, I may not be the guy, but I may know someone who can connect better with you. And I'm okay with that. No different than a doctor. You go to your doctor and he says, I don't specialize or I'm not comfortable, but I know a guy or I know a gal. And that's how I run my practice.
So how did you get the name EYECAN?
That is very interesting. Two things. Number one, that evening I was reading a book to my grandson about the little engine that could. And, it was like, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And my grandson was like, no, I think you can do it. You can read me another page. And I'm like, oh, you know how it is when you're laying in bed, right? Trying to put them to sleep when they're spending the night. So, and then as you go through, you as individual, me as an individual, have went through certain really, really tough areas in life. And I said to myself, I can do it. I either have a choice of giving up and letting the world beat me or get up and do it. So for my grandson, it became I can do it. And that's, Sylvester Stallone once said, the world isn't full of sunshine and rainbows. It's going to knock you down. And when you get knocked down, the real person understands what it's going to take to make that comeback.
Absolutely.
So for me, the greatest comeback known to man was the rise of Jesus Christ when he rose from the dead. That is the greatest comeback known to man. But I'm going to rank myself, once it's all said and done, this is going to be the second greatest comeback that anyone has ever seen. And
he's coming back. Rocky's in the house.
that is it. That is it. What are you talking about, Adrian?
But we need those falls sometimes. We need those revamps sometimes. We need to relook at things in life sometimes. And I love that you have EYECAN, because it starts with the eye, what you see.
Yep. And many times, the wisdom that I bring to my clients is I have the knowledge from over 1,000 other individuals that have shared with me their trials and tribulations that I could potentially share with you to help you get to where you want to go.
And I love that you said that, Gerry. You know why I love that you said that? Because you took what you learned from everyone else and you put it together. You put the dots together, and that's what it's all about. You know, getting that connection.
It is so beautiful. Number one, thank you for saying that. And I'm going to say this. Everyone is born with talent. So when you hear someone say, oh, that gentleman was born with God-gifted talent. Well, he was born with that talent. He discovered it, but he needed someone else to draw that talent out of him. Right? How many of us are humble enough to say, I think I can do this, but I need somebody to help? And so many people do not reach out. Not to me, but to individuals, right? And there's a movie called The Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro, one of my greatest favorite movies of all time, next to Goodfellas. The last sentence in the scene, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Imagine.
So true.
Right?
Well,
So when
the fear, right? The fear of doing our talent and being judged, right? That judgment.
Yep.
Just close that curtain, everybody. Just do it.
Yep. Have the thick skin, because by it letting affect you, it keeps you from being the individual you need to be. It's kind of like the other day, I was in a coaching session and I said to the gentleman, I said, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like, since you're in Canada, did you ever watch the Flintstones? Were they in Canada? Okay. So you understand the wheel on the wheelbarrow when I said it was a square wheel, right? Mm-hmm. So I said to him, I said, sir, you're going uphill with 1,000 pounds of bricks and a flat tire that's square. I'm not going to be able to get you up to Mount Everest this way. I need to start inflating your tire first, not taking the stuff out of the wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow is the mind's one brick is our mindset of being rejected. Well, that means I got to work on helping you get thick skin. Facing the no, right? Getting to the point in life where you say to yourself, some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? Because it's that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. That's a different version.
Like I tell everybody, Gerry, when somebody tells me a no, get ready for 3 more knocks on the door. And it's your fault that you said no, that I'm going to those 3. So if those 3 come after you because you said no, that's on you. That's on me. Yep.
I agree with you 100%. And people just people are, I was talking to a few people this week and they're all upset about what the market is doing here in the United States, what the government is doing here in the United States. I'm like, why are you reaching out to them? It's your account. Move the money. If you don't like how your money is performing, why are you blaming the stock market? You have control of it. So until people start accepting that they made that decision, whatever decision it was, they're the ones that have to be held accountable to themselves instead of trying to blame others for their shortfalls or the incorrect decision.
Right. Is get that energy. Take the energy. And that's your second word is energy. Take the energy and move.
Move. Act. Take action. And a thought is only a thought unless you take action to complete that thought. So for me, it's like, okay, should we buy a golf cart 6 years ago? Did I need a golf cart 6 years ago? No. But do we buy a golf cart knowing that we could have a heck of a time with our grandkids? So we took action and we went and bought a golf cart. As stupid as that analogy is. But you have to take action regardless of what it is. It's like the other day, 2 weeks ago, I was working with another coaching client and I said to him, did you take action on the idea that I gave you? I provided you 29 leads for free. And he didn't call them. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you can only give the tools, right? And it's up to them to use the tools that you're providing. They choose not to, then that's them staying stuck. That's no movement, no action. And that shows, what are you doing with your money? You're wasting your money because you're paying for a coach that you're wasting the coach's time too. Like,
he's paying me good money. That's my value, right? I understand what my hourly rate is. So again, if he doesn't do it, I'm giving him the tools. I'm still making my money. But the question now here really now comes on my shoulders. How much longer do I want to keep him as a client because he's not doing what I want to do? It's not wanting him to do, suggesting him to do.
Yeah.
right? It's kind of like professional sports. Well, when you think the first baseman is over the hill, you get rid of him to another team who would want him.
Right? If you're not going to bring the home runs in, we're going to get somebody else to do it. Like,
absolutely. I would give hockey analogies, but I don't know. I know of the game, how to play it, but I don't know any of the players or anything like that. So please forgive me. And especially you being so close to Montreal and Toronto. That's even a bigger insult. But hey,
well, I'm a traitor. My dad's always claimed that I was a traitor. Before he passed, he's like, no, that kid, I don't know who she is. I was a Chicago Blackhawk fan since I was the age of 3-4 years old. I watched my first hockey game with my dad, and he asked me, so what team you like? And I said, I like that one because it's got lots of colors, Dad. I didn't even care about the players. I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I liked the logo. Like, I liked a lot of colors. So I just stuck with Chicago Blackhawks. So now everybody knows Miss Liz's favorite hockey team. No, I'm not a Canadian fan. Sorry.
See, this is the energy, right? This is the energy. This is what life is made of. Because if you don't have energy, listen, you get up. I have become, for the past 4 months, part of the 4:30 a.m. club. I get up at 4:30 a.m. I've lost almost 55 pounds in the last 7 months. Getting up at 4:30 and doing the things that I need to do, right? So we all have to have some sort of energy to get through this. And if we want to be better people, what I call the 4 F's, we have to work on our faith, we have to work on our fitness, we have to work on our family, and we have faith, family, fitness, and my mind just drew a blank because I wasn't expecting to talk about this, but I'll remember I'll remember what the 4th one is by the end, I promise.
The fog has come in.
Finances, faith, family, fitness, and finance. There you go.
See, a little fog from Miss Liz, and you got a little help from your friend.
It was my pretend mate that got me there.
But that's what I mean. When we work together, we get through it, right?
Yeah, we do. It is, let's just look at the 4 F's. You have your faith that can help you get through it. You have family that can help you get through it. You have your fitness, because if you do not keep yourself physically fit, that wears you down. Right? And then the finance, that's a whole different conversation. But 3 out of the 4, we have to keep those grounded, because those 4 F's, and I apologize, my wife's with the doorbell. The 3 of those 4 F's are so important for you to get up and go every day.
I like it. I run my life on another 3 F's.
Uh-oh.
Not suitable for.
We're streaming. We have no FCC here in the U.S. I think that's what Howard Stern said his entire life.
Right. But, we have to have fun in life too. And we have to have the right attitude to move forward and to get the energy moving. And that's your 3rd word for your T is attitude. So let's talk about attitude, Gerry.
Attitude stems from your mental mindset. How does your mind control you to give you the attitude that you have? Right? So for me, when I hear people say certain things, and I'm like, you know what? You have no idea what others in the world are facing, right? So when my dad was telling me a story of when the German soldiers walked through his town when he was 10 years old during World War II, and he's speaking to a soldier, and 5 minutes later, that soldier's body was blown up in front of a 10-year-old. How does that impact? How does that impact someone for the rest of their lives? Right? So that's the mindset. What attitude. You can take I'm a victim attitude, or you can take the attitude of it happened, I know what happened, and I got to move forward. Because what happens is the attitude, some people try to take command of things that they cannot control. And they worry about all that. For what? You can't control the outcome. So just let the process play out. And if you have nothing to worry about, you have nothing to worry about. Just move on. And that's where we have to have not only a strong mindset, because the mindset is what provides your attitude to get you through, get you over that hurdle, to get you to where you want to go. And I just love life. And I'm going to give you another thing that happened in my life that really, there was a pivot for me. And that was September 11th here in the United States. So a gentleman by the name of John Grazioso, who was I'm not going to call him my best friend, but he was one of my very close friends. His life was taken away from me. And I said to myself, when I saw his wife about a year later, because I had already moved, I ran into her, and she says to me, Gerardo, I still feel that peck on the cheek before he left for work that morning. I still remember, she goes, I still have the coffee cup that he left on the counter. I've never washed it. See, that's the grind. When she was telling me that story, that's the grind that every single one of us go through every day. Kissing our spouse on the cheek or on the lips before we get in the car or walk to the train station, because I'm never guaranteed to walk back in that door. I'm not. We're assuming that we're going to make it back. But the question is, did I do the best that I can as a human being from the moment I walked out of my home and left the person that relies on me as a husband, a father, and a supporter? So for me, my attitude, I have been saying this, Liz, for nearly 30 years. It's not a mission statement. It is my belief statement. And I say it every day. I get up in the morning and I leave a place that someone relies on me as a father, a husband, a supporter, and now a grandfather. And I'm going to go to a place that someone will want to take my time, my knowledge, and my wisdom. Someone has to pay a price for that. And it's not going to be the people that matter most to me in my life. That's the attitude and that's what keeps me grounded as an individual to impact others on a daily basis, whether it's just buying you a cup of coffee, a stranger a cup of coffee, that does wonders. I tell people on Fridays, I did not leave the house today yet, but normally it's Coffee Friday for me. So when I go through a drive-through, it's like, hey, I'm paying for the coffee. I'm paying for the guy behind me or the gal behind me. It's not about doing it. It's about how your soul feels when you pull away from that drive-through, and it just shoots you up like a dang rocket into beyond Mars. And when you have that momentum, the energy behind that action, it's incredible. It's almost like I've never taken drugs, right? But if that's the high that people get, that's going to be the analogy. That's my adrenaline rush.
Well, I think, it's important how simple a coffee for a total stranger, the impact that it makes on a person's life. Like you said at the beginning of the show, the man sitting on the bench offering your wife mate. Yep. I just learned a new word, mate. I'm going to go around the house all night saying that. But it was that moment, that impact, and you'll never see that person again. But in that moment, you made somebody feel seen and heard and appreciated.
Yep. It's like that. There's a company called Successories that they put posters, motivational posters, and there was one that said, what only matters is if you make a difference in the life of a child. Right. So what would it feel like if we all walked around trying to make a difference in someone's life, no matter how big or how small, right? Just hold the door for them. The other day I was at Kroger and there was an older lady, with a full shopping cart. It was like a Saturday afternoon when I went, and I said, ma'am, and it was cold already. So I said, ma'am, I'll help you out. And she said to me, she goes, God's got a crown waiting for you up there. That's all I needed to hear, because I know I touched her heart just from a little simple attitude versus again, I'm not saying I don't, it's just be kind to people. That's it. Most people will just ignore, throw their stuff in their car, and then shove the shopping cart into the cradle, where they belong, get in their car, look in their backup camera, everything's clear, boom, and they go. It took me 30 seconds. She smiled. She reminded me of my mom. And it's like, I would hope someone would help my mom like that. And I would be eternally grateful, especially since we live 16 hours away from one another.
And she could call you and say, guess what? Somebody helped me with my cart today.
And I'm like, Ma, wasn't that nice? Wasn't that nice? Now, how do you pay it forward? Because it's not just receiving. How do you now pay it forward? Right? Yeah. Years ago, I'm not an Oprah fan, but I am an Oprah fan, Oprah Winfrey, right? But she gave money away to people years ago, $100 or whatever. And she was shocked at how many people never shared it. So if $100 fell from the sky, I would give some of it away because I didn't have $100 15 minutes earlier. So if it's impacting me, I would rather take a $50 impact versus a $100 impact and then share it with somebody else. That's what attitude is. Having a grateful attitude, being grateful, being gracious, wanting to help serve others instead of getting stuck in the daily grind of 9 to 5 or whatever your shift is.
So Gerry, what got you into coaching?
Wow. The gentleman, I am still coached, and I've had the same coach for 26 years. If it's not broke, don't fix it. We have a great relationship. He knows everything about me. I know everything. But now what's happening is we're coaching one another. And that's where this is, we were talking about it the other day, and I said, dude, this is crazy. I'm still paying you, and we call it working one another, And I said, you're working me and I'm working you, but I'm the one who's paying you to be worked. Something's out of balance here, And he goes, shut up, I'll just buy you another beer. And I'm like, okay, well, good enough. But when I was a financial advisor, I was the client's coach. I was coaching them on how to make better money decisions. The title was an advisor, but I'm a coach. I'm showing you how to move money around, how to reduce tax, not eliminate, reduce, right? Because the laws are there for you to take advantage of. But if you don't know what the law is, your coach, advisor, is the one who is the professional that knows and can teach you how to use it to your advantage. That's what the law is there for. So,
Gerry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say, so I got into coaching because I saw how my coach changed my life. And my purpose has changed in life. So now I want to help others live the most fruitful life that they possibly can.
Well, what I was going to say is it goes right back to the beginning of our conversation, that connection, connecting those dots and working with the dots, the collaboration. And yeah, one person's paying and the other one's paying the beer. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's an even call, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But Gerry, I want to get into some fun questions here. We got some lightning bolt questions, so I'm just going to throw them out. So just some speed answers. I'm going to pick at your brain. First one, yellow feels like?
Love.
Love for yellow.
Yes.
Interesting.
The sun rises every morning.
I like it. One word that fuels your purpose.
One word that what?
Fuels your purpose.
Fuels my purpose. One word. Adrenaline.
Oh, look at you go.
Don't stop.
A quote, a quote that keeps you centered.
A quote that keeps me centered. I'm a quote guy too, and you've got me there. A quote that keeps you centered. You can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve if you're willing to put in the work.
It goes back to the attitude and action and energy, teaching. It goes all into your T. I like it. Your go-to to reset your energy.
My beautiful wife.
A mentor who shifted your mindset.
You want his name?
A name, place, the address.
My coach. I'll use it for. It's David Gorsuch. Yeah, that's my coach, David Gorsuch.
3 words to describe your T: treat, energy, and attitude.
Treat, energy, and attitude. Do you want
3 words?
3 words on treat? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding the question. Sorry,
they're lightning bolts, so the lightning bolt is cracking, right?
Yeah. Treat. Okay.
3 words to describe those words to me. So
okay,
give me one word to describe those 3 words. Does that make sense?
Yes. Spirit. Your spirit.
That's what I want. I wanted one word, and I said 3 because I had 3 words in front of me. See, it went over my head too, Gerry.
See, it wasn't my fault. At least you admitted it and you took ownership of it. Thank you. It wasn't me.
I was just like, what am I saying here? Song that fires up your drive.
Glory Days by Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that's a good song. The biggest myth about success.
The biggest myth about success. Only one word. Wow. Falsification.
Oh, I like that word.
Everyone thinks it's easy. Everyone thinks success is easy. You know, but it's like, you know, I was just watching a motivational video about Michael Jordan this morning. No one really, you know, you go to a baseball game up at Sky Dome in Toronto, right? You show up at 7 o'clock for a game. Those guys have been there since 11 o'clock in the morning. They don't understand what it takes. So it falsifies. For me, it's a false interpretation of what success means, of becoming a professional athlete.
They don't see that iceberg, right? It's like
no,
the iceberg.
They
don't see the bottom.
top. Yeah, they don't see the bottom. And I learned that very quickly over the past 3 years with auto racing. I never realized what it took to be just part of a race team, let alone own one.
Yeah,
it's insane. And on how, I mean, there's real quick, 2 seconds. There's an individual, a driver, who lost funding for his race team, he is now using his name as an LLC, and he's selling his name rights so he can raise money so he can continue driving next year. It's crazy. In hopes that if he becomes an Indianapolis race car driver and he makes it big, that's where the payoff comes in. It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I always talk about that iceberg, right? Because everybody says, oh, Miss Liz, you got all of these awards, you got all of these titles, you got all of, yeah, but I work hard for it.
Yeah.
I'm working 12, 14 hours a day that nobody sees, you know, with a podcast, nobody sees all the work that goes behind the booking.
And when you were telling me about all these platforms that you're on, I'm like, I said to myself, I only know one, and you're rattling off like 6. And then you said Mars, and I'm like, wait a minute, how did that get up to SpaceX so fast?
Miss Liz does go to Mars, and Miss Liz is doing Mars right now. If everybody goes and looks up StreamYard, StreamYard is Marsing us. We are in Mars with StreamYard.
Oh, man.
Finish this line. Leadership begins with.
Leadership begins with someone who has walked the walk.
I like that.
Because I cannot be a leader if I have never accomplished what you want to accomplish. And the analogy is when someone says, I understand what you're going through, unless you have walked in my shoes, you are being empathetic, right? You're just being a kind soul, but you're never going to understand what it feels like to have certain things happen to you. You know, for example, my dad passes away. And then 48 hours later, my mother attempts suicide, right? How does a person handle that? I can only talk to people, but until I find someone that has experienced it, that's the person's brain I want to talk to. Because they have been there prior to me, and that person would be my leader for that example. That's why I chose those words to end that sentence.
And last lightning one, what's gratitude look like in action?
Wow. In action, gratitude is walking with swagger because you know you're giving thanks for everything that you have. Right? Someone's walk, people say, wow, look at how strange that guy walks. Well, maybe he's got that swagger because he's so confident in who he is, and he's grateful for what he has. But more importantly, he understands what someone else doesn't have.
And we're going to, before we wrap up, I want to get into EYECAN.
Yeah.
So how can people reach out to you, Gerry, for EYECAN, and how can they get some of these tools and tips?
Yep. So unfortunately, the website is icandoit.com. It is being revamped as we speak, so it's not up. But I am on Instagram at EYECAN Coaching, EYECAN Coaching. The reason we decided to name it EYECAN Coaching is because many times the answer is right in front of you and you don't even see it. And then secondly, as I shared earlier, my grandson and the little story that I was reading him. So it was a combination of the two, but we all have said, the answer was right there. Well, you needed a coach to help you focus it. So
and that's why we have a coach in the house.
That's it. But no, EYECAN on Instagram, EYECAN Coaching, and then on Facebook as well, EYECAN Coaching is all live running. And I'm really, really excited for what the next, the 2.0 version of the website is going to look like. I was actually on a meeting earlier today, and we're about 10 days away from getting ready to launch it.
Ooh, 10 days and then Rocky's coming. Well, we have a question here that came in for you, Gerry, and I want to get this question out to you. For the listeners ready to elevate their mindset today, what is one small daily habit that they can create long-term transformation?
Be as strong as you can be in your faith. Whatever faith that is. I'm not here to push whatever. I'm a Catholic. But your faith is what is going to keep you going when the hardest battles of your life are hitting you day in and day out. The hardest challenges in your life. Your faith will get you through this. And I say that because I do it. I go to church every day, whether I like it or not. 7 o'clock mass, I'm there 7 days a week. And when I leave, I feel energized, ready to tackle the world. And it's crazy because sometimes when the priest preaches, he talks about what happened in my life the day before. So it's like the guy it's like, dude, you don't even really know me. I don't talk to you. How in the world are you picking these homilies to help me? So it's like the stars align a little bit. So be strong in your faith, or attempt to get stronger in your faith. Just take baby steps. The baby step continues to grow and grow and grow, just like a tomato plant. You care for it, you nurture it, you care for yourself, you nurture yourself. And the next thing you know, it's like, I can't miss today. I've gone 71 days in a row. You know, there's like absolutely no way. So that would be how I would answer that question.
Plant a seed. I like it.
Yep.
Plant a seed, take those baby steps, and find your faith. You know, faith will take us a long way. And like you said, we all have our different faiths. You know, just believe in the faith that you believe in and take those steps. That's what I got from you, Gerry.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not, you know, we are, and be proud of your faith. Whatever it is, be proud of it. Why are we, you know, the one thing that Charlie Kirk's passing taught me was not to hide behind what you believe in with your faith. So I made it my mission to bring out the faith in every interview. Why not talk about it? Because you don't agree with it? Well, some will, some won't. So what? Who's next?
Well, it goes right back to the beginning of our conversation, right, Gerry? We're going to get judged either way, right? Do or don't. We're going to get, you know, so just show up. Just take those steps. And if you fall, you fall. You get back up and you fight again. Like Gerry's coming in 10 days. He's coming back as a Rocky, and watch out.
Maybe 2.0. Maybe I need to put on Rocky shorts and have the video team film me and have Rocky music coming out as the intro.
You never know. That would be a good comeback, Gerry.
Oh man, Sylvester Stallone charged me too much money for all those rights. There's like no way I can afford that. Let's be realistic here, all right, Liz?
But Gerry, your final words for all the listeners today.
Live your life to the fullest. You never know if tomorrow is going to end. Don't assume, and make a difference in someone's life. That's it. Because you will be rewarded. Karma, you will be rewarded. Maybe not right away, but it will happen. And those are the last words. And if you are looking to have that breakthrough, reach out for someone. I'm not saying me. I'm not trying to plug me. But don't keep your dreams and desires a thought. Help someone pull it out of you, and then they will help you build whatever it is that you want to achieve.
Well, thank you so much, Gerry. I'm just going to do a closing summary of today's tea time, and we're going to wrap it up. And Miss Liz will be back next week with 5 tea times. I went down by 1. So, what an energizing and eye-opening tea time this has been with Gerry. His message is a reminder that transformation isn't a movement. It's a daily commitment to how we treat ourselves, how we show up, and how we choose to move through the world. Gerry showed us that discipline becomes freedom, gratitude becomes growth, and the right attitude becomes your roadmap forward. So as you carry on today, this conversation with you, ask yourself, what energy am I choosing today? And what attitude am I allowing to lead my life? Thank you, Gerry, for pouring a cup filled with grit, gratitude, and possibility. Your message inspires us to step up, show up, and trust that I can truly become I can.
Liz, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. This is the hardest part, doing these virtual things. I can't shake your hand. I can't give you a hug. The only thing I can say is the gratitude that I have for putting me on your platform to share my message with your listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gerry.